Hello. So much good energy to work with. Where to begin? I think first we have Moon and Leo for this entire weekend. And I think that's the main thing to focus on consciously to keep in mind for the next couple of days, because that is the source of some of the beautiful gifts that we'll be experiencing, the beautiful opportunities that we have for this weekend. And it's also the source of some of the challenges that we need to keep in mind to make sure that we're steering clear of certain uh, challenges. So why don't we just jump in? First, actually, let's look at the positive. There's so much just upbeat energy to work with, even if you're getting caught. Perhaps some people are in the water sun sign of focusing or kind of like sinking into emotions, etc. Maybe a little bit too much. That can happen, especially with transiting sun being trine transiting Neptune. But there's so much fire energy to work with. There's the moon in Leo, we have Mars in Aries, and we have Jupiter in Aries, and the air, Mercury and Venus and Gemini are helping a lot here. So long story short, what does this all mean? It means that we should enjoy this weekend. We should remember to laugh. We should remember to have fun, to play, to not take ourselves too seriously, to not take other people or life too seriously, while still focusing on our goals and being very diligent in that sense. I mean, a lot of people are just going to have fun this weekend, and that's totally cool too. But there is a certain serious element to this weekend, I think, especially when later Saturday, the first part of Sunday comes around, because transiting Moon and transiting Saturn will be opposite each other. So there can be a sense, I think on the positive sense, it's like, okay, I'm building, especially since we're in a new lunar cycle. I'm building and I'm focused, and emotionally I'm able to make sure that I think a lot of people are going to be experiencing some delayed gratification this weekend, where maybe they have fun on Friday night and Saturday night, but especially when Sunday comes around, they really buckle down and they get some good progress done for how they want to build their future and how they want to build themselves into the future, and continuing to develop themselves. I think that that's a really good way to enjoy this weekend, is have fun. Again, put ego to the side. We'll get to that a little bit more specifically. But then when Sunday comes around, work with the pressure. Don't try and fight it. Don't seek to have even more fun or anything like that. Don't run away from Saturn. Saturn's influence in our lives, that vibration, that frequency, is about building. It's about seriousness. It's about pressure. But if we're mature and if we're responsible and we work with the pressure, then we make the best of it. And actually, that's a great opportunity whenever Saturn is influencing us in a major way, like it is, especially Sunday. We're able to build with it. We're able to become wiser, become more resilient, more focused as a result. So the challenge, I think, of this weekend, and it's similar to what I said for the last transit video, but even more so for this weekend, is to potentially say and do things without thinking. I think especially if your feelings are hurt, if you're feeling maybe like you're not shining so much in life in general, if you feel like you're not bringing out the best in yourself in general, then this weekend can come around and you might feel a little on edge. You might have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. And that is something to keep in mind, because of course, drama and or saying and doing things recklessly, that's never a good thing. So I think that's something that's good to keep in mind. And again, if you're feeling that, I mean, it's hard to generalize about that. Feeling can come from a lot of different places. You might need to be focused a little bit more seriously on bringing out the best in yourself in a certain way. And again, Sunday can help a lot with that, but all this weekend can help with that too, if that's what you feel like you need. But I think for most people, it's just like there's so much fire energy that we can kind of get carried away, whether we're feeling good about life, whether we're not so feeling good. Ultimately, again, it all kind of boils down to the same thing. Let's breathe, let's laugh, let's be willing to laugh at ourselves, let's let other people have tempered tantrums and tirades and say and do whatever they like, as long as they're not hurting anyone, not hurting you, then okay, whatever. Let the small stuff go. I think because there's such a family element to this, there might be some drama in relation to family that's coming up. And again, fight the temptation to give into it and just to be mad and not listen to the other person and just speak without hearing them, or speak without taking a moment to really figure out, like, okay, what are the effects of what I'm saying, because it might feel good in the moment just to pop off, especially with these kind of energies out there, but that's not bringing out the best in ourselves, and ultimately we're going to have to pay for that in some kind of karmic way, because when we hurt other people's feelings, it's not like that just goes away. So I think that's the big thing to keep in mind. Again, there's so much working with us to have fun with this weekend, so I think that's something that's good to keep in mind too. It's not like you want to run away from tense situations or difficult situations, but there's a lot of room, I think, for this weekend to also have a lot of good times with loved ones and to enjoy that time. Have those wonderful conversations like we were talking about before with Mercury and Venus being in Gemini. And again, I think a key thing here is not just like, yeah, go have fun. Of course, that's beautiful. But I think a key thing here is stay focused on your goals. Stay focused on what you're seeking to accomplish, to do, especially if your ego is kind of not as stellar as it usually is or should be or whatever. If you're not feeling so great about yourself, do something positive and productive, and you'll feel better, and ultimately that will set you up to feel better in the future as well. I think let's keep it short and sweet. I think for today, that's the big thing to focus on. Again, there's so much of an emphasis on the moon in Leo, so just let's stay positive and upbeat and focus on that side of it rather than the potentially, getting too serious about the ego or anything like that. And as always, I'm doing readings. Info in the description for information about the different readings I offer. And yeah, infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. One last thing, I know that I've been kind of trying to figure out what new videos to do to give life to this channel. I'll always do transit videos, but it's been so long since I've done like sun sign, moon sign videos, and I think I started to do a couple last year, but it just wasn't flowing right in a sense because I felt like it was too short. But I also want to keep them palatable. So I think basically I have a question and also kind of an update. My question is what would you feel, and let me say the question first. What would you feel would be very good for, like, that you would like to see me do for this channel to bring some new content that could be really helpful? I welcome all recommendations, but just keep in mind, if you're very super specific, like what about making a video about Mercury and Scorpio conjunct Venus and Gemini or whatever, it's not even a possible combination. But obviously I'm not gonna just come get a reading. Like I'm not gonna be able to make a video about that particular thing. I'm talking about more of the general things, right? So speaking of general things, I would definitely welcome, please, any kind of recommendations, and I very well could make those videos. If it is a kind of thing that could help a lot of different people. My idea for right now, for the near future, is to do an update for those old videos that I did of like 10 minutes each. So like sun sign Virgo, 10 minutes long, moon sign, etc. All the rising sun, moon. I think even Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. That's on my mind to do. I know I have other sun sign compatibilities to do. I'm just checking my list right here. 3 signs a moon sign likes you, 3 signs a rising sign likes you. I know a lot of people have been really into that, of 3 signs a certain sun sign likes you. So yeah, any suggestions you have, I'd really recommend, or I'd really appreciate any recommendations. And any constructive criticism, I'm always open. So if there's anything that you have to say, please let me know. As long as it's constructive, I will gladly hear it and will gladly appreciate it. Whether I agree with it or not, I appreciate the offering of that. Thank you. So yeah. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. Oh, one last thing is, that's good enough. All right, peace.